here at Meadow Breeze Park in West Jersey. It's a very nice and peaceful day out. Very quiet, not many people out. As usual, I made a video actually at this park about a month ago talking about how we have lost a sense of community, and most people don't really go out and hang out with their neighbors anymore. People don't really talk to each other when they see each other on the street, and there's not really much people on the street anymore. Now, when the weather is a little warmer out, and weather like now, it's about upper 60s here in New Jersey, you see more people out, but then it's dead in the wintertime, and I'm sure that holds true for most places. In the wintertime, when it's cold, it's like then you really don't see people out. But I don't know, maybe it's my fault. I'm a pretty social guy. I'm not shy, really. I'm not awkward. I'm not like a loudmouth, but I've been in sales for most of my career as a working adult, so I know what it's like to make conversation, and I think I'm good at it, at least. But the thing is when I'm out here, excuse me, at these parks, it's I don't really see much people my age. I really don't. I see mainly people, I would say, above the age of 40. It looks probably older than that, honestly, but we'll just say above the age of 40. And to give you context, I'm in my late 20s. I'm 27, and yeah, maybe it's the area I live in here in Western Jersey. I grew up in the northeastern part of New Jersey, so right outside New York City, and it was the same thing there. I've lived out here for almost 3 years now, but it was the same thing out there that I was noticing, especially since COVID. I really feel like this kicked off after COVID, because that's when I first started facing loneliness, because I was locked up during COVID. But even after that, I was like, man, it's like all these people I used to know around here, like I don't really talk to them much anymore. I don't know if they still live around here even. And there's just nothing for me here. But now I moved here. And I feel like most people would say that about wherever they live. And I'm talking from the United States standpoint. It's like no matter what state you live in or what town, unless it's like a city, if it's just like a town, people are always like, oh, there's nothing really to do, this and that. And from New York City, I'm about 2 hours, so I'm not that far. The closest city to me actually is Allentown. East End actually would be the closest, but that's a smaller city. I mean, bigger city, you're talking like Allentown. Philadelphia is also like almost 2 hours from me, so I'm like halfway between New York City and Philadelphia. But yeah, I mean, obviously I've driven out to these areas to do stuff, and the advantage about being out here, though, even though it is lonely, is there's not as much degeneracy. People tend to have a little bit more, I guess you could call it Christian conservative values or whatever. I know you can't really see it, but there's farmland right in front of me, right in front of this park. There's giant fields of corn and stuff that I see, and there's actually tours that go on around here. You can pick your own fruit, pumpkin picking, all that good stuff, especially now that goes on in the fall. So it's a quiet, nice little town here where I live at. And people out here, I've had trouble making friends. Like I said, I've lived here for almost 3 years. I've really had trouble making friends. I don't know what happens. It's like, and don't get me wrong, some of it is my fault. One, because I've spoken about in previous videos how I have struggled with alcohol, where I wasn't the kind of alcoholic that drank every day, but I was the kind of alcoholic that when I drink, I can end up getting arrested. I end up ruining friendships with people, relationships with people, this and that. I end up doing stupid things that I regret, in a nutshell. So I have the potential to be an alcoholic, which is why I try my hardest not to drink, and I try not to put myself in those environments. And it's hard because, especially at my age, it's like that's all people want to do. They want to just go out, drink at clubs, at bars. And like I totally understand it, but it's just a waste of time, and it's a waste of money. And yeah, maybe once in a blue moon, yeah, but like people want to do that all the time, and it's like if we ain't going out partying, doing reckless stuff, people don't even want to go out. It's like people have lost the ability to connect with each other on a deep level, to where it's like people don't want to even hang out with each other unless they're getting some sort of value, some sort of fun. It's like no one wants to just sit down, hang out, and talk about life, or talk about, what's going on in your life, really. Or I don't know. Is this making sense? Am I making sense to you people out here? Am I the only one feeling this way or noticing this stuff? But it's like what's going on today is we have all become so socially isolated. It's a lot of us don't have friends. A lot of us don't have anyone we can call in times of need. Minus family. If you have family, that's a different story. But I'm talking if just it's really good to bounce ideas and bounce feelings and stuff like that off of not only your family but friends, especially if you're a guy, other men that you can count on and that you trust. And it seems like we've lost that in today's world, particularly with men. It's like men in particular don't really have a social life. I feel like women are a lot better at forming bonds with each other and making friends and making time for each other, whereas men kind of just passively say like, oh yeah man, we're gonna hang out, this and that, but it just doesn't end up happening. At least that's been in my case. It's like I'm always talking with guys about we're gonna hang out, this and that, and maybe we will eventually, but it's the fact that it doesn't happen often enough. Guys hanging out and guys communicating with each other and forming bonds and being able to bounce ideas off one another, being able to share what one another are going through and be there to motivate each other, uplift each other, and help you out in times of need. And my point really is, I just feel like we've lost that, because I really only have two good friends in my life, and they don't live we don't live near each other. One lives in New York City, and one lives in one's in the military, so he's all over. Right now he's in LA, that area, I think. But it's these are friends I text with. Obviously I'll call on the phone, but we're not with each other in person. It would be great if I could find people who of like mind to hang out with in person. Mine is just, okay, we're gonna meet at this gathering, at 10 a.m. this and that. How about let's call each other, let's actually do stuff outside of whatever, if it's church or if it's a gathering, you do something where it's not like you're almost forced to be there. It's like, oh, I gotta be there this day, this time. It's like, no, let's call each other up. Let's be like, let's go for a walk in the park. Let's go get coffee, or let's get food, or I don't know, let's do something. Let's go bowling. I don't know. Let's go play basketball. I'm just thinking of random stuff here that people could bond over. And I'm not saying no one does this at all, but my point is that the vast majority doesn't do this, and we're all to blame. I'm to blame because, a mistake I made, especially right after high school, is I stopped being active in sports. Not that I should have played college level or big leagues, but I should have done some sort of club sport, because there was stuff like that where I grew up and I just never did it because I wanted to focus on going to the gym, and I just wanted to focus on school or whatever, or my job at the time. And not that those were bad things, and I don't regret going to the gym, but there had to be more, and I'm realizing that especially now, because on my weekends I didn't do much. It's like I'd be so caught up during the week with work and then the gym, and then the weekend came around, it's like maybe I'd go out at night and be drinking with my friends, but that didn't really get me anywhere besides spending money, being hungover the next day, being unproductive, doing stupid stuff that I regret. So maybe if I played sports, that would have kept me out of trouble a little more. Maybe that would have given me more of a bond with people in my community, that would have allowed me to get that competitive edge out that guys just naturally have. So, I've looked into all this stuff like flag football or sports leagues, whatever. There's nothing in my area. I mean, I don't know what it is about this part of New Jersey I live in, but I'm in like the most dead part of New Jersey, just the most deadbeat part. It's mainly like an older crowd. It's not much young people. If I were to guess, most people that live here probably over the age of 50. That's what it seems like. More of a retirement town or something like that. But don't get me wrong, it's affordable here. It's very beautiful here. There is stuff to do. It's just that when it comes to someone my age, there's a lack of people my age. That's what it seems. I'd have to drive out 30, 45 minutes, an hour out to get to where it's more of a younger crowd. But again, this is more of the that drinking crowd and that crowd that likes to party. And don't get me wrong, I'm not judging people that do these things. There's people that can drink and party responsibly. I can't. I just can't. So, it's not the best environment for me. Maybe one day I'll be able to go in those scenes and be okay, but right now I just can't. So anyway, I just feel like there's a pandemic of loneliness, and not that I feel, I know there is, because one, I experience it from time to time. And don't get me wrong, some solitude is healthy. I'm the kind of person that likes my solitude, likes my personal space, needs to be alone, and but I'm also a social guy. I like to socialize. I like to be with people, and I don't really have much people to talk to, honestly. I really truly don't. Minus 2 good friends. Obviously, I have family that I talk to, but no one really in the community. It's no one in the town I live in. No one really in the surrounding towns. Once I get to about 30 minutes out, yeah, I might know some people. And again, in my town, there's acquaintances I have. It's not like I don't talk to anyone on the street. I do, but it's not like these people got my number, and it's not like they're ever asking me to hang out. I've tried, man. I've tried throughout the years with so many people. I feel like maybe I'm playing victim here. Maybe I'm wrong. I've genuinely have tried many times, whether it be coworkers, people I've met, or whoever, to try and hang out, and it's always like, oh yeah, we will, and it just never ends up happening. I try to make it happen, and it just doesn't happen. But that's a different topic. So, I mean, maybe you've gone through that. Maybe you've tried with dudes to hang out. Maybe whether it be coworkers, people you've met, or maybe you did hang out or it didn't work out. Because that happened when I first moved here. There was this one dude. He was like a hardcore, conservative extreme. He was like extremist though. He had the Confederate flag hung up in his room when I went to his house, and yeah, that didn't work out very well. He just stopped talking to me. I don't really know, but he was weird anyway. But again, I was like, you're talking like, this is almost 3 years ago. It was like 2.5 years ago, man. So, and he was a little younger than me. He was a couple years younger, but he was around my age, so I don't know, man. And especially when I come across people that know truth like me. I remember there's this guy, Richie from Boston. I watch him all the time. He's a content creator, and he talks about the truth, He's not on YouTube anymore, but I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar with him. And this was probably 2 years ago, well, almost 3 years ago as well. And he basically made this thing where it was, you could send in a video yourself, saying where you're from, this and that, to try to get acquainted with like-minded people. And so I posted my video, and I was actually one of the first people he posted. And there's people that reached out to me a ton, because I told the people my email, this and that. A ton of people emailing me, and not all of them were from my area. Some of them were just saying hi. All of these people that came in contact with me that I wish I got acquainted with. And what happened was, I was drinking at this time, so one, I burned some of those bridges just from being drunk and prideful at the time, being a little younger as well, immature, things like that. So part of it was my fault, but then a lot of these people, it's just, they fell off. You're talking to them, you're communicating with them, and they fall off. I don't know what ends up happening to them. And this is people I was communicating with a lot. So again, I'm not saying this is all other people's fault. I'm acknowledging that I've done things wrong too. But again, I'm just making this video to see if anyone can relate. Again, I'm in New Jersey, so I'm in Northwest New Jersey to be in particular. So if anyone's in my area, wants to reach out, my email will be below. My social media is always below too, my description, so check for that. And let me know what you guys think. Hope you all have a wonderful day.